You're a filmmaker. You're a content creator. You want to make stuff, but your mind is blank. This video is going to give you 5 quick tips to get you up, to get you out there. Well, as far out there as you can go at the moment. And if you're watching this video in the future and that makes no sense, then actually, forget it. You wouldn't even believe me. Back on point, 5 ways of getting up and creating stuff quick. Let's go. Tip number 1, pick a colour, any colour. Then as quick as you can, fly around, find 10 objects that are that colour. And this is going to be the basis for what you're going to film. You've got 2 ways in which you can use this. So really, I'm giving you 6 tips instead of 5. You can have that one for free. The first thing that you can do is simply shoot all of those things in location. So say for example, the colour is blue. You find 10 blue things around the house. You shoot them in the different locations, you use different angles, different camera shots. This is linked by the fact that they're all the same colour. You can also use this to start telling a story. You can have a bit of fun, and this will encourage you to think outside the box. Tip number 2. Find a space, a location that gives you some kind of feeling. So it could be a place that's full of energy, vibrancy, colour, noise. It could be somewhere that's quiet, tranquil, relaxing. And what you're going to do is you're going to use the camera to try and convey this feeling to your audience. Now, although we're only working with visuals, we can obviously use different senses. We can trigger different senses in our audience. So for example, what does the place make you feel? And then you can think about that in the edit. What kind of sounds can you hear? This can overlay the visuals that we create. What kind of smells are there? See if there's a way of you transferring that onto the short film that you create. Give us, the audience, that feeling of being immersed in this place so that we feel that we know what it's like as well. Tip 3, I call the routine. So you're going to look at something that you do day in, day out, on autopilot, that you don't give a second thought to, and that's going to be your film. Now initially you'll think that that is the equivalent of watching paint dry. But start breaking it down. See what different stages of this routine there are. See the angles and the different ways you can tell us about that routine, and make something that you didn't even give a second thought to interesting and engaging for us as the audience. Again, this is encouraging you to step out of the box, to look at things in a different way, and that's what creativity is all about. Tip 4 is to get a newspaper, to give yourself a set time limit and to go through it as quickly as possible, seeing what headlines and what words really stand out. With those words, I then want you to cut them out, lay them all out, so maybe you want to use the floor, maybe you want to use a big desk. Look at those words and then give yourself 5 minutes in what's called stream of consciousness writing. So you're just going to make sure that the pen doesn't leave the page. You're going to use the stimulus of those words, and at the end of 5 minutes you're hopefully going to have a couple of sides of A4. That can then be used as an audio recording. You can record what you've written down, and then from that is then used as your shooting script. So you can then start to create content, visuals that support what you've written. As with all of these exercises, don't let your conscious mind sabotage you. So when it tries to stop you, when you start to doubt, then just leave that behind, because these exercises are about getting up and creating. They're not about analysing. So just trust yourself and just do it. Tip 5 is just called the phone call. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your mobile phone, you're going to go to the last text message that you received, and that is actually the basis for the phone call. Now this phone call can happen at the start of the short film. It can be the catalyst, the thing that sets the ball rolling. It can happen at the midpoint, the climax where everything changes. It can happen at the end. This can conclude the action that we have. Things to think about here are who your protagonist is. Who is the person who's receiving the phone call, and what kind of person are they? Who is the antagonist? So who is the person making that phone call? And finally, 3, what change does that phone call spark? It has to change the world that we are creating in that short film in some way. So just think about how you do that. What's at stake for the protagonist? There are 5 tips to quickly get you up, get you out there, get you creating. If you found these helpful, then please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell, because there's lots more content like this coming up. And go out there and make stuff happen. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Till then, create.